Hi everyone, Amanda here with Tiny Turd. I just wanted to say thank you for all the awesome responses that you guys gave me about the videos for at-home grooming. I have seen a lot of questions about the grooming tools and what to get, so I thought I would do a short video talking about grooming tools. So let's talk about doodle tools. Right, Tiny Turd? He says right. So I'm gonna just basically go over what you guys need. I know it's very overwhelming because there is a lot of tools online. Main places you can get your tools from would be PetSmart, Wren's, Amazon. I know Amazon has a ton of selection and a lot is sold out right now. So I don't know what he sees the birdies. So there's a lot of places you can get your tools. Don't stress too much about the set of clippers that you guys get. It is important. It depends on what you want to do. If you're just trying to get yourself by until you can get to your professional groomer once this is all said and done, I suggest don't break the bank. Just find a good one that comes with the clipper sets, which I know can be a bit questionable when searching online. I use Oster, which is a higher brand, because it does last a lot longer. Basically, it's a higher quality motor and a higher quality blade. Now, if you can see this, and I hope you can, this says number 10 on it, which is a 10-inch blade. I know there's different ones, but the reason I chose this one when I did was because it is removable. So you want to check to make sure that your blade is changeable. I made this mistake. I've gone through about 3 clippers before I bought this one. I had the cordless, which was great, but if you have a bigger doodle, you want to be very wary of cordless ones because of the charge. How good is the battery? And I'm sure in this day and age, they're all lithium batteries, so if you can find a rechargeable one, that's super. The one I had was cordless, however, the blade was not interchangeable. So once the blades go dull, it makes grooming very tricky and it takes a long time and you don't get the results that you would get with a sharp blade. And yeah, it's just kind of a giant pain in the butt. And then you end up, well, having to get a new one. So I bought this one. It is heavy. But if you want to get a lighter one, a quieter one, it depends on what you want out of your clipper and what you guys are going to be doing. So as you can see, Mr. Tiny Turd here, he needs a cleanup. He's a little bit scruffy. I find I have to do my smaller guy every 2 to 3 weeks. His hair grows like an absolute weed. I don't know if your big guys are like this, but yeah. So anyways, in regards to tools. So there's corded, there's cordless. Things to keep in mind when you go cordless: how long is the battery gonna last? How long do you need? Because are you gonna be rushing trying to get your doodle done? This comes with a very long cord, so if you have a dog who's gonna shuffle around, if you don't have a table like I've seen some of you guys purchase, which are amazing. If you are like me, when I first started, I was on my hands and knees, I was upside down, I was just trying to get Charlie to stay in one spot, which was very tricky. Cordless is great. Corded is also great because this comes with a very long cord. So if you don't have to worry about batteries running out and having to recharge or put new batteries in, I think a lot of them are rechargeable. I just don't know how good the batteries are, but that again is up to you. This Oster one is very, very heavy. You do get used to it though after you get going. The vibration is a bit strong, but other than that, it's pretty good. What you want is a good quality motor and a good quality blade. So if it's interchangeable, that's great. These blades are sold at Wren's, and I don't think they're too expensive. It's been quite some time. Like, they will last you, depending on how often you're grooming, they should last you a year or more, to be honest. You kind of you start to tell if you're doing it often, with your doodle, that it's not cutting the same, it's not cutting as quick. But if you take care of your blade with the oil, as I had mentioned in my previous video, you will find they will last you forever. So it's a really good investment if you're planning on doing it yourself long term, or if you're doing it just to get you by. Just go for maybe a cheaper brand. But Andy's, Oster, Wall is actually pretty good, which is also their Walmart brand. Those are the only ones I can think of, but I'm sure there's other ones out there. But in case you're getting overwhelmed, maybe try and stick to those brands because those ones are good and you will find that you're happy with that. So you want to make sure they have these like 2 little screwy things. This one you have to unscrew and then it just pops off. So hopefully that helps if you're a bit concerned on which product to buy. Plus the Amazon reviews, you really can't go wrong with that too. So just do a little bit of research and hopefully you find one that works for you. Okay, so moving on. So as I mentioned, a slicker brush is great. I did see a few people who mentioned combs, which I don't really know where my comb is. I have a comb. Those combs, the tooth combs, are for actual mats. So that is when you're in a process of breaking up a mat, which is very labor intensive. And I don't know about you guys, but I ain't got time for that. So I kind of use the fine tooth comb to poof them out, like tiny Turd over here. He'd get the tooth comb after a grooming because he's got that very fine fluffy fur. But with the doodle mixes, sometimes their fur is coarser, sometimes their fur is fluffier. It all depends on what kind of dog hair that you have. So I wouldn't be too concerned about combing them out with a tooth comb. They are great. Again, you have to be very careful of pulling your dog's fur. The same as if you're using the slicker comb. It is also very sharp, so you have to be careful with how much pressure you are applying. I don't think dogs enjoy being brushed in general. Maybe some do out there, and that is fantastic. But when it comes to this, we have to be very gentle, very careful. But I personally believe that a wide brush like this, which you can find PetSmart, Wren's, Amazon, I don't know if Walmart has them, you can check. But those first 3 places, you'll have your best bet to find this. And the wider the brush, the better, because if you have a lot of dog to cover, that's going to speed the process up because it's obviously more land, more coverage. Get it done sooner. So that's what I do. We have a small one and it's not good. So if you want to do the big one, get the big one. That's my recommendation. Try and if you find a small one, that's okay too. But always just be careful with the pressure when you're applying, and got to search out those mats and snip them out. Next tool, let's talk about the scissors. Curved scissors are your best friend, and I've seen a lot of people have picked up some scissor sets on Amazon and Wren's. Awesome stuff. I'm sure you guys love them just like I did. Great for shaping the face. Really the only one I use is curved and straight sometimes. It just depends on what kind of a look you're going for. So that's what you're gonna get. Sometimes your set will come with something like this. And I honestly have no idea what these are for, but I find if I cut the top of the head a little bit funky, this kind of evens it out. I think it's for thinning and adding density. So, moving on. And back to regards to the clippers. I did mention these little black clips. Make sure they come with your grooming set because this is the safest way to cut your dog's hair. It's foolproof. And it saves your dog's skin from being burned, razor burned. So if you've ever shaved your legs or armpits with no water and no soap, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, that hurts. You get a razor burn. So if you cut too close with the clippers and you're just using the blade, you can get your dog can get injured. So be very, very careful. I don't recommend using the blade on your dog unless you absolutely have to, because even when I do Charles and I'm very careful, I still find it bugs him. So I don't know if it's just because if it gets so hot, or just the way it cuts, because it is a very sharp blade. You do not want to give your dog razor burn. So I highly, highly suggest and recommend that you make sure that you find one that comes with these black clip-on things. And they are very, very easy to use. On your clipper, you just stick them on and boom, they go like that. So it's a very good protectant if you're new at it and you're not 100% used to doing your dog. I very much recommend that you get the protectors. And it kind of gives you a foolproof way. Like your cat can't look, your dog won't look kind of mangy because you'll get a good cut out of it. So make sure you get these clippers. 1/4 is the puppy cut, so they'll have all sorts of different sizes. This is 1/16, so it's a shorter cut, but 1/4 is the best. It's the easiest one, so that's what I suggest. If you're overwhelmed, this is just for people who are, you know, trying to figure out what they need. That's all. And nail clippers. So there are 2 different kinds of nails. If you're brave enough to cut your dog's nails, usually if the ones have clear nails, those are your easy peasy ones. I prefer these because they're easier to hold, they're more manageable, and they do cut faster. You want a sharper blade. So this one is fairly sharp. This is from Wren's, so love it. But I also have one from Amazon because I can't seem to keep track of these things for the life. I have 8 animals in this house, so these things make it all over the place. Anyways, there's these other ones here too, so you might have these on hand. These are good too. However, it is a little bit harder to hold. You have to make sure you have a good grasp on the dog, but these are okay too. A little tip about dog nails, look for the quick. They're pink. If you have a dog with black nails, you can try using one with using a flashlight to shine under the nail, and you can see the quick better. So that's just a tip. And if you have a dog with teary eyes, like Mr. Tiny Turd over here, I suggest taking like a little toothbrush. This is just a toothbrush that is on for one of those automatic toothbrushes. They are great for scrubbing the crusties out of the eye. You just wet it with some warm water and give their little tears, the little tear stains a scrub, and you'll notice a difference. Doesn't always come out completely 100%, but this is handy. So my next little tidbit of tools here would be these tiny scissors. Baby scissors, as I call them. These scissors are fantastic for doing the eyes. Don't poke yourself in the face if you're practicing eyes. I use these on Tiny Turd all the time and Charles, and they are great for trimming that hair short. So some of these guys are known for having the teary eyes. Right, baby? Yes. So what I do, oh, excuse me, that's Lacey. So what I do is I keep this hair trimmed very, very short. Right? Hello. And you'll find that it helps with managing. If you use your toothbrush, you keep their little area short, and you just give them a little wipe. Good boy. Tell them how awesome they are. They don't seem to mind. And it keeps the staining pretty clear. So I know there's lots of stuff out there. There's wipes, and people say, you know, drink mineral water, but some dogs are just prone to having teary eyes like this little guy. And I find just keeping the hair trimmed very short, keeping him wiped down, it looks okay. So we get by. So those are my tips. And again, if you get your clipper set, get oil because it'll make it last forever, and it keeps the blade cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it helps. Excuse me, Lacey. Stay safe, everybody, and hope you all have a great Easter. Take care.